Building resilience. How to bounce back from setbacks stronger. Sarah had always prided herself on her ability to stay in control. As a driven, young professional, she thrived in the fast-paced environment of her marketing career. Her days were filled with meetings, brainstorming sessions, and high-profile projects. She was on the fast track to success, with a clear path ahead of her. But one morning, everything changed. The company had been restructuring, and Sarah found herself in the middle of a whirlwind of changes. She received an email that her role was being eliminated. In an instant, everything she had worked for seemed to vanish. There were no warnings, no time to prepare. The company she had dedicated so much of her time to had decided to go in a different direction, and she wasn't part of that future. At first, Sarah felt like the ground had been ripped out from beneath her. She sat at her kitchen table, staring at the email, numb. She couldn't quite process what had just happened. For days, she didn't know what to do. Her routine, her identity, her sense of purpose, all of it had come crashing down. There were moments when she felt like giving up, convinced that this was a sign that she wasn't cut out for the career she had worked so hard to build. But amidst the despair, Sarah realized something important. She had a choice. She could let this setback define her, or she could use it as an opportunity to rebuild. The idea of bouncing back seemed impossible at first, but the more she thought about it, the more she understood that resilience was not about avoiding challenges. It was about facing them head-on and learning to grow through adversity. The first step for Sarah was to give herself permission to feel the disappointment. She didn't try to push through the pain or pretend like it didn't hurt. Instead, she took a week to grieve, taking long walks, journaling her thoughts, and talking to close friends and family who reminded her that it was okay to feel vulnerable. During this time, Sarah realized that in order to rebuild, she first needed to acknowledge the reality of the setback without letting it define her. Once she had processed her emotions, Sarah shifted her focus to what she could control. She didn't rush into action immediately. Instead, she gave herself a few more days to reflect on what she truly wanted from her career. What was missing in her previous role? What would make her feel fulfilled and excited again? Sarah realized that, although she had loved aspects of her work, she longed for more creativity and a company that aligned better with her values. She then made a plan. The first step was practical. She updated her resume and LinkedIn profile. But instead of simply applying for jobs, she decided to take a more proactive approach. She reached out to colleagues, mentors, and friends who were already in positions she admired, asking for advice and introductions. Each conversation felt like a small victory, an act of reclaiming her power. It wasn't easy, but she realized that networking wasn't about asking for a job. It was about learning, building relationships, and staying connected with people who genuinely cared about her growth. Next, Sarah knew she needed to invest in herself. While she was job searching, she took the time to learn new skills. She enrolled in an online course on digital marketing and started experimenting with tools she had never used before. The feeling of learning something new reignited her passion for her field and gave her confidence that she was more than just her previous job title. It was empowering to know that she was evolving, even in the midst of uncertainty. During this time, Sarah also sought out a mentor, someone who had successfully navigated career setbacks and could offer guidance. Her mentor, Rebecca, had once faced a similar situation and had transformed it into an opportunity to reinvent her career. Rebecca's advice was invaluable. She reminded Sarah that setbacks were not roadblocks, but rather invitations to explore new paths. She encouraged Sarah to stay focused on what she wanted to achieve rather than worrying about what she had lost. It wasn't an overnight transformation. Weeks turned into months, and there were still moments of doubt. But gradually, Sarah began to see the results of her efforts. She not only had an updated resume and fresh skills but also a renewed sense of purpose. She became more confident in interviews, knowing exactly what she wanted in her next role. The more she put herself out there, the more opportunities began to open up. Then, one day, she received an offer from a company that truly resonated with her values. It was a place where creativity was encouraged, and innovation was celebrated. The role was even better than the one she had left behind, offering more growth opportunities and a collaborative work culture. Sarah realized that this was the silver lining she had been waiting for. When she walked into her new office for the first time, it wasn't just a new job. It felt like the beginning of a new chapter. Sarah knew that her resilience had shaped this moment. Her ability to bounce back, to adapt, and to push forward despite the odds had made her stronger, more self-aware, and more passionate about her career than ever before. Through the journey, Sarah learned that resilience doesn't mean avoiding challenges or pretending they don't hurt. It's about acknowledging your pain, finding strength in it, and using that strength to rise again. Setbacks, as painful as they are, can be the very thing that pushes you towards something better. And when you emerge on the other side, you'll find that you're not only stronger but also more capable of handling whatever comes next.